How's it going, everybody? In our next section, finally we're done with security. That was a big section because security is going to be kind of a big deal with the switch exam. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about voice and video support at layer 2 and layer 3. So we're in a different section. We're in the what used to be the ISCW, but is now part of the switch exam. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about layer 2 and layer 3 QoS at this point. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to the nice thing about it is we have the solutions available to us down here if we run into any troubles. But basically what it's saying is the design team has informed you that voice over IP traffic from the Cisco IP phones in HQ1 office will be making phone calls to the remote offices over the public internet. Basically what they're going to do, in my guess, is they're going to configure site-to-site IPsec VPN tunnels. So to ensure the end-to-end QoS design is correct, they've requested you configure switch 1 to ensure that traffic from the phones is properly marked, but only when the phones are detected by CDP. Okay, so these phones are connected to 10, 11, and ports 10, 11, and 12, and they are on access. They're going to use data VLAN 100 and voice VLAN 200. Okay, so we're going to actually go in here and we're going to go to global config. We're going to say VLAN or interface fast 0/12 is going to be fast. We're going to say switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 100. Now what we could do is we could go into each one of these 10 through 12 and put them into the voice VLAN. I'm actually going to create a voice VLAN. I'm going to exit out of here and type in VLAN 120. Type in name is voice, and I'm going to go into interface range. Actually, let's exit out of here. Interface range fast Ethernet 0/10 through 12. I'm going to type in switch port voice VLAN is going to be 120. Now we do a do show VLAN. We're going to have a duplication. We're going to have 10, 11, and 12, 10, 11, and 12. So it's going to be using both. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the same thing. We're going to do, we're typing MLS. Actually, I think we have to exit out of here. Type in MLS QoS, and we have to, or no, MLS QoS COS. No, I feel like I'm not doing this right. Hit the interface range command. MLS QoS. Oh, here we go. Trust. And we're going to say device. And we're going to say Cisco phone. What this does is it's basically saying you're only going to trust it if it's being detected via CDP. Cisco IP phones will project CDP when they are talking, so we're going to do that. And we're also going to do auto QoS, and we're going to say voice over IP, and then we have our options. Cisco phone. Cisco phone, and hit enter. Now what that's doing is it's actually turning on a template of QoS. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a show run interface fast Ethernet 0/10. So basically what this is saying right here is we're in data VLAN 100, voice VLAN 120. We're trusting Cisco phones, and what auto QoS does is it turns a bunch of stuff on for us. Tells us what's going to happen. So now if we do a show class map, right now we have class map match any class default. So it's not really doing anything. It's just there. So if we do a show policy map, there's nothing there. So what we're gonna do now is, I don't know if we have to do this auto. Yeah, I didn't think so. So what we have now is all the devices are configured with us. or any device where we've configured auto QoS and we've told it it's going to be a Cisco phone. So that's layer 2 QoS. Now, it says for layer 3. Now let's see if we're doing this right. Let's see here. We went to voice Vlan, auto QoS, voice over IP, Cisco IP phone, Cisco MLS QoS. Okay. And it did that output. So, alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to layer 3 auto QoS, and it says, since R1's connection to the internet is a slow T1 link, which is a 1.5 meg circuit, the design team has requested that QoS be configured to prioritize voice over IP traffic sent over the WAN. Since the voice over IP traffic is already being classified properly in the layer 2 network, they have requested that the trusted DSCP model of QoS be applied to R1's link. The internet using AutoQoS wizard in the oh, okay. So basically what they want you to do is they want you to use the SDM and configure QoS that way. And DSCP, so I don't know how to do, as you can see, these are the ranges that it's going to want you to do, and so on and so forth. So this is, alright, so okay, so here's what it would actually be sent. So it's going to, these are all the commands that it's actually going to be receiving. So starting from the class map, and we'll go to router 1 for this and actually just configure, just so we say we configured QoS, more or less for, so I can say I configured QoS. Because in my college course I have a I have voice over IP next semester, so I guess it would be kind of beneficial to do that, huh? Alright, so what it says is R1. We're going to go to config T. We're going to say class map question mark match any. The name is going to be, we're just going to copy this config. Actually, we could just copy it in. That's the nice thing about Cisco iOS. We could actually copy this config in, and what it would allow us to do is do this and just do that. So let me explain what's kind of going on here. We are doing match class map match any transactional 2 match DSCP assured forwarding 21, 22, and 23. So we're gonna match STM routing 2, DSCP CS6, which is going to be for control plane. CS3 is going to be for 3 is assured forwarding. This is assured forwarding. This is for the voice itself, and this is for the management, CS2. So now here we have the bandwidth percent. We're giving voice 33% of the traffic capabilities. We're giving signaling 5%. We're giving routing 5%. Or actually, we're giving everybody 5%. Then we have a class default, fair queue, random detect. And then we're assigning this QoS policy out to this guy. So we do a show class map. This is what we're doing, and we have, this is the first ID, second ID. This is by default, so this comes in no matter what you do. And then we have 0. This is the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And then we have, this is for the actual voice. We're gonna do a show policy map. Policy map. And it's saying that class map SDM voice 2 strict priority. Voice is getting 33% of the bandwidth. So signaling is getting 5% of the bandwidth. Max threshold is 64 packets in the queue. Anything more than that, things will be dropped. Then we have 5% going down the road here. So they're going to give the Q depth is going to be this. So we're going to do a show QoS, show, what is that command? Show, I forget what the command is. Show buffers, I think it is, buffers. Show Q. Show Q. Interface. Oh, serial. Was it serial 0/1 we gave it? Yes. Show Q serial 0/1. So what it's doing right now is actually show the service policy would just be that right now nothing's going about on it right now, but if there was anything, we'd be able to do to show the queue, and it would start showing increments of these guys. So we have reserved conversation, so on and so forth. But it would allow us to see the bandwidth. Show. I don't know much about quality of service. I haven't studied it that much, but this is just how you would get it configured. Normally, what I would do is I would use a template off of Cisco's website and just run with that. Layer 2 QoS is what you're going to need to know for the switch exam, which is just MLS QoS to turn it on, auto QoS voice over IP phone if you need to specify anything, and just remember that EF is expedited forwarding, which is also the same thing as EF41 or binary number 46, and that is going to be for voice. That's expedited forwarding. It has precedence over everybody. Assured forwarding is going to be for non-voice traffic like email, web traffic, FTP transactions, things like that are going to be elevated above just normal traffic that's going through the network. Anything that's not an expedited forwarding or EF or assured forwarding, which is AF, anything below that will be in what they call the class type 0, which is also known as scavenger class, which is whatever isn't classified. That is going to be what is left over. As long as you can understand, best ever delivery is just that. I will be doing a QoS series once I get a better handle on it and I have a better understanding of it. I get the basics to it, but beyond that, Cisco has granted most of us the ability to just use a macro, which is what the auto QoS is, and then the MLS QoS. That's basically, they're just macros that just kick off things. So that is pretty much it. So if you wanted to configure a macro, you can go here and type in macro, and you can type in name, and you could say voice question mark, hit enter, and then what you could do, enter macro commands and a question mark, and you would type in whatever commands you want. So you would type in switch ports, and this will be what you would do here is you would type in what commands you want to associate to this. So you would type in, like, say, voice VLAN to 120. You would type in access switch port mode access switch ports access VLAN 100. Type in auto QoS, and then whatever the config is for that. I forgot. Shows how often I do this. And it would be auto QoS, voice over IP, Cisco, or you could say, I think the other command is voice over IP, and then you could specify whether it's a trust, I believe is what another command you could type in. And then what you could do is you hit the @ sign and shift, and then that would do, and then be able to do an end, and you type in global or macro global, and then you could apply it, and it would apply to, I believe that's to every device, but if we do an and do show macro, I guess not. Show macro, and then you'd be able to apply this, and this would go for every device, or for every port on the device. But I don't do macros. I know very, very little about them, so I just know that they exist and kind of how they work. So that's QoS for you. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into gateway redundancy with HSRP, GLBP, and VRRP respectively, and how that all works. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.